Welcome to the Startup Leader Show, where we learn lessons from startup founders and executives. I am your host, Lisa Dreher, and I'm really excited to introduce our guest for today, Lisa Rich. She is the founder and COO of Xplore. Welcome to the show, Lisa.
Thank you, Lisa. Appreciate you having me.
It's the Lisa show today. So maybe we can start by having you talk just a little bit about your background and Xplore.
Yeah, thank you. I've been in the space industry since 2014, first as an investor, understanding the commercial space as it was evolving at that time, and getting involved with a lot of different individuals that were domain experts and learning about this intersection of software and hardware capabilities that were occurring to enable space to scale, and really understanding that there's a revolution happening in technology and space, and that I wanted to be more a part of that. So first, as an investor, I'm the founder as well of Hemisphere Ventures, which is a venture firm that has invested in 37 commercial space companies to date and has had extraordinary growth for those portfolio companies, some of which you may know. Axiom Space, Umbra, we're so proud of all their progress. And anyhow, getting to know the players in the industry is so important. And that led to founding Xplore with a fantastic team, and building a company with the idea that space needs to be a service. In order to offer space services, you need to have a very capable satellite. And so we built and are building the Xcraft satellite to launch multiple sensors to perform many different Earth observation capabilities that we have, and other marketplaces that we've tapped into when we launched the satellite. So there's a lot happening here, but the idea is that we've created a fantastic platform to gather valuable data from space, and that's really our mission here at Xplore.
Wow, that's amazing. And what an amazing background as well. So, really excited about all of the ventures that the organization is supporting as well. So, talk a little bit about maybe some of the use cases that Explorer is supporting today.
Well, a lot of the Earth observation marketplace is being driven by a need for data about uh, climate change and environmental changes for different companies. So there's Earth, so Earth observation is being fueled by different instruments that collect valuable data, including hyperspectral being one of them, or video imagery. We talk about the optical instruments we have on our satellite, and we think all of these markets are very ripe for expansion, and can't wait to bring that data back and provide value to different types of customers.
That's great. So you guys talk a lot about space as a service, and you kind of mentioned that in the opener. What, so aside from Earth observation, or is that really the focus? Is the focus on Earth observation primarily?
That's where the marketplace is today. That isn't necessarily where the marketplace will be tomorrow.
Got it.
So we have opportunities for growth in different areas to serve the needs of government customers. So
Great.
space domain awareness being one of those areas.
Okay, got it. Okay, so we invited you here today to talk a little bit about what it's like to launch and grow a successful space startup. And I want to just start by having you give us a little bit of background on what you feel have been the biggest keys to your success so far.
Sure. Well, it's I want to give you a timely one to start that is in some cases it's very important to know your banker. We had advice years ago that from a very successful founder that said you're going to want to know your banking team. And that is a foundational thing that you're going to turn to time and time again. You don't think it's so important, and yet, as we learned in the past few weeks, it couldn't be more important. So as we run a space company, the complexities of the payment process, there are suppliers around the world you have to take care of, there are needs that different companies have. And so, I was really quite thankful that the day that we had all this tumult in the marketplace, I had the team calling me saying, "What can we do for you?" That's pretty amazing. So I want to just cite that as great lesson learned, and a great that I learned it, and that we were in a great place with what happened with SPV last week. So that's one of them. Another lesson I would say is, you have to have very thick skin to be in this industry, and you have to be open to change. Every day you may have the best laid plans, and changes are going to happen. So how are you going to weather through those? I think we always like to say there's never a dull moment. And so anybody getting into the startup space needs to be open to that and be able to roll with all the changes. If that isn't in your nature, if that isn't the fabric of who you are, or you're not willing to be 24/7 working a business, working strategy, working to grow it, then having a startup might not be for you.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. Is there anything that you would do different knowing what you know now if you were to start all over again?
Gosh, if I could go back so many years and had the wherewithal, I would have been grooming a chief of staff many years ago to align themselves with my various duties and roles to be able to support me, because my relationships are very complex. They span so many different arenas, from government to commercial, international relationships. I never would have thought how expansive this roster of people in my life would be. And to have a chief of staff person that can help manage that would be great. I still don't have one. I'm still dreaming of one. I do have other support, certainly, that I rely on, but I think that could be very key, to free up time, to have more time to devote to other things when you're unhindered and you have a support team. So
Mhm.
more support sooner, I think, would have been great.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. So when you actually, can you put your investor hat on for just a moment? And when you are looking at these companies that you're going to support, what is it that you wish that, founders coming to your organization looking for funding, what do you wish they knew?
Wish they knew. Well, that's a big question. That uh,
Or that they just, like, came to you prepared with, that maybe folks kinda miss the boat on oftentimes.
Well, I think we make a lot of assumptions about founders. The maturity level of their business acumen, for one,
Mhm,
is so important. And there's so many different things that you assess when you look at a company for potential investment. Your standard team, timing, and traction, of course, is one of the boilerplate things that you look at. But it's hard to anticipate how a founder is going to prepare for a storm, right? Like, how are they going to prepare to pivot or to roll with changes?
mhm,
That's a tough one. We always ask our founders to be looking in multiple different directions for their business. You have to have a core business that's going to be solid and your rock, right? And you're building on top of that rock. But
Mhm.
the business may have to change given the marketplace. So I would say more founders should be getting their feet wet with as many relationships as possible to understand all aspects of the business, and how it might affect them. Uh,
Mhm.
you might not even realize where those weak points might be if you're not really getting involved in this full scope and this full spectrum of external factors that may affect your internal plans.
Yeah, indeed.
It's really hard to it's hard to anticipate. I'm just saying, thinking the more you know, the more you're involved at the bird's eye view level of how people are perceiving your business or what's happening in the marketplace, the more prepared you'll be and more set up for success.
Sure, sure. Okay. So shifting back to the startup founder perspective, a lot of times I think as we're getting things off the ground and it really at any point, right? You can run into roadblocks in your business. So what have you found are the most effective ways of going around, through, over these roadblocks that you just inevitably run into?
Right. I think it's about perspective and having this top level view. As I was just talking about, having a broader understanding of the marketplace, how you fit in it. Having this broader view allows you to, I think, manage where the business is going next without getting mired in the minutia. I think it's very easy to get overwhelmed by this ball drops here, this ball drops there, and suddenly you feel like it's overwhelming and oh no, the sky is falling. Well, the sky isn't falling if you have perspective. And
Mhm.
looking at a business, on you have to be able to look at it as if it's someone else is looking at you, right? What are they seeing? Because it's easy to be in the middle of it and feel like there's their options are limited or what have you, and that may not be the case at all. So how do you maintain your perspective, and who are those people that you turn to help you maintain that perspective, that say, no, you know what, you're fine. Everybody's looking at this in a different way than you are right now because you're stuck in the moment,
Mhm.
or you're getting stuck on this one problem that you have that isn't, in the long run, in the long scheme of things, doesn't even matter, or issues that long term will be completely irrelevant. You
Yeah.
have to remember that a lot of things in the long term, because we're all in this for the long term, are not going to matter as much as you think they matter right now.
Mhm. Yeah, I think some of the best advice I ever received was whatever it is that's happening right now is temporary. Most likely it's temporary. So, there's always going to be change, basically.
Yeah, yeah, and I think having I have a lot of ground truth. I'm very fortunate to be the recipient of tremendous amounts of information from great relationships that I have, and so I I have a way of seeing where the winds are changing, and I think it's very positive for this industry. Ultimately, what's happening right now. Um, there's a lot of talent out there that's looking for new homes because of some changes happening at different companies, uh,
Yes.
and so all this change, this in some cases creative destruction, is
Mhm.
going to result in a better, stronger industry, in my view.
Right, right. So you've referred to your network or people that you go to for input or guidance a couple of times during this interview. And I'm curious, how have you how have you gone about finding those people?
Well, it's cultivating relationships. Certainly, it takes a long time, and that's almost a point for founders. Is that I would spend years thinking about who those relationships could be so that you have a support network before you start a company. Not everybody would do that, but I've certainly had so many relationships that you don't want to see my inbox, my phone, or the number of people and texts that I get every day, but it's a little amazing, but it's the result of years of getting a sense of who do I trust, who do I value, who has knowledge about this industry, who has knowledge about adjacent industries that can provide insights given their domain expertise. And work with people you like. It's about who you personally think you can trust. And that's always how I build relationships, is there's a lot of chemistry there. They have to be real. These are people that don't necessarily have an agenda. They want to be helpful genuinely. And those are the best relationships to have and to cultivate.
Yeah, without a doubt. So I want to end with one last question, and that is, if you could make one prediction about the future, what would it be?
I think that the future is very bright in the space industry. We're on the cusp of a lot of capability coming online. And as that capability, as those satellites fly, we're going to be able to say, we saw this coming and we're so proud to be a part of it. I think that that's in the next few years. It's not 20 years away anymore. It's literally launches away. There's scheduled launches and such that we can turn to say, wow, we're going to be a part of something great. And that's why I get up every day, is there's so much to be said for being a part of an industry that is growing and benefiting other industries, and having significance in being a builder.
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah, me too. So if somebody wanted to learn more about Xplore, what should they do?
Go to xplore.com, visit our careers page. We are hiring. We have some great opportunities. And this week we have some news coming out that will tell you just more about how we're growing and positioned for growth.
Oh, exciting, exciting. Oh my gosh, that just, we can't wait to hear about that. And if someone is a space startup founder out there and they are looking for some funding or some support, what should they do on that front?
Oh, well, that's a separate company, hemisphere.com.
Okay.
There's an inquiry page there, and there's support people that work at Hemisphere that would review emails that come in. So
Okay.
always happy to learn about great companies, and we love to support them.
Fantastic. Well, Lisa, thank you so much for making time in your busy schedule to be here today. It was great. And hopefully we'll have you back on again soon. And we'll watch for all those predictions to come to pass.
Great. Thank you, Lisa. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.